rematches, or just one rematch, I want to say, on Fathom Flag. I want to see it go all the way.
All right, well, I totally agree. Gentlemen, it's time. Audience, let's make some noise, because it's going to be Evil Geniuses going up against Vex. Fellas, over to you.
All right, we're going to be heading game number 1. It's going to be Fathom Flag. And we're going to be starting this one off with Roy, who's going to be going bottom middle, not trying to do the jump. Actually already getting naded by his teammate a little bit more. Is going to be fighting another player as he is going to be picking up the railgun. Going to be backing off onto his side. He does see a player calling him out as he's going to be possibly doing the jump into the treehouse. Does nail it successfully. There's going to be 2 players on the jump crate. Doesn't get the shot, but he is on the chase. That is going to be Lunny staying alive.
Yeah, Lunny staying alive, which is, of course, really important. I mean, just throughout Halo in general, but Halo 5 specifically, you don't want to be throwing away too many deaths, and I like this from Roy as well, making sure he stays alive with this railgun so he can hit some shots as well. Lunny just running into the crosshair. That's not what you want to do. But you can see Evil Geniuses, they're trying to hold down the first half of the map before they push up and try and grab one of these flags here.
Yeah, and Roy doing a lot of pre-firing with this railgun. I don't know about that, but he does end up getting a kill on Arias. He is getting shot by a nice railgun to make him back off bottom middle. Now 1 shot, but no nades are flying. Lunny is going to get taken down. That's going to be 2 players from Vex dead. Make it 3 as Cristola is going to fall to a 5 shot. Now going to be going onto the blue bridge, and another player is going to be approaching onto the red area. Blue silo. Another teammate is going to be responding to that call out, and that's going to be an assist on Aquatios.
One thing that we have seen from Evil Geniuses in later scrims is that they've struggled on Fathom Capture the Flag in really pulling those flags and getting them back to the base. They seem to have decent control, they can slay very successfully, but it's actually about getting that flag moving, which you can see they're trying to do now. Lunchbox is trying to support his teammates here, and now they can move it. If these Vex players can't get these shots off spawn, then this might be the first clap.
And right now, Lunchbox is coming back to defend the base as they are going to be pulling, as they are trying to play defense or offense. What would you say? They're on the other side of the map. Are they playing defense or offense here as they do get a recovery?
They are defending whilst offending, is what I'll say, as they go 1-0 up. We saw the counter pull from Vex, but unfortunately it was for nothing as it was Cristola who just got taken down instantly. But now a nice 1-0 lead. That's a good way to settle any sort of nerves for Evil Geniuses. Vexed, they need to start getting back into this map. European teams do struggle on Fathom Capture the Flag in general. I think it's the lack of top mid control that we see, but we'll see whether they can start getting back into it.
Yeah, and the camo is going to be dropping in the next few seconds. The flag is getting pulled. I don't know who has the railgun at the moment, but the flag is in motion as Lunny is going to get taken away. But let's go on board with Tapping Buttons, who does have the railgun, and he does get himself a kill on the Riots along with a return. Camo should have been up. I don't know if anybody was burned or if it was fought for, but so far we have seen nobody with it.
Yeah, it was Riots. They got the camouflage and he was just taken down immediately. So that's out of play, and we'll see that come back in about 1 minute and 40 seconds. So make sure you keep an eye on that throughout the game when the camouflage is coming up. It's going to be so important in getting one of these flags. But now look at Evil Geniuses. They are pushing in and they're slaying first. This is what I love, brothers. They didn't pull it straight away. They waited, made sure they'd taken everyone out of the base, and now they're moving the flag.
And now the base race is going to be happening, but Tapping Buttons is going to be top middle with the railgun. Only 1 bullet left, already pre-firing 3, knowing somebody's going to be here. Doesn't get it, does fall off top middle, and then look at that, a happy little accident on a Cristola as he gets a perfect shot for the double kill on Aquatios.
Notice how every single time Vex are sending one player to flank immediately just to get a pull on that flag, just to distract their opponent, but the return comes in regardless, and now we see EG go 2-0 up here. They're looking really confident, they are looking hot right now.
And that's going to be Roy pulling in the 2nd flag so far, and even though they have to run back and play defense, I have seen no defending happening. They're getting top control right off the bat. There is a player in the garage. Roy is going to 4-shot Lunny down as Cristola is also going to be taken down. Make it 3 members from Vex as Riots does get taken down as well. Now Evil Genius is taking up top control.
Slight important time for the game as well. We'll see Railgun's going to come up in about 10 seconds, so expect both teams to drop down, try and contest that. But also Camouflage will be up about 30 seconds after it, so instantly everyone's going to be switching and trying to make sure they can get into the right situation to grab these power-ups and power weapons. But Quad's trying to push around, get some good angles with this light rifle. This is a man who is very good with any weapon in his hand. He's certainly been the slaying power for this team so far this season.
And he does see a player on the red wall, does make him 1 shot. That is going to be a cleanup kill on a Lunchbox as he does get a teammate to take him down. Now going to be free firing onto the red elbow. The camo will be dropping in the next 3 seconds but right now Quadios is more occupied in the base.
Yeah, we want to see someone getting up top, grabbing this camouflage and really doing something with it. That's the way Vexed are going to get back into this game. They are struggling just to keep up with Slays in general, but the camouflage has been picked up by Cristola. So look at the man from Ireland himself to see whether he can do any real damage with this one.
And now Cristola is going to be trying to play sneaky here. He has 2 of his teammates make it. 3 of his teammates already executed by Evil Geniuses. Is going to be on the enemy side of the map. Lunny just getting spawn killed. Cristola is going to be spotted. The callouts are here, and here comes the Oreo sandwich as he is going to get taken down by some nice grenades. Railgun is picked up. That's going to be a double kill for Lunchbox. Make it a triple as he's trying to stop the flag carrier, but no pre-fire is going to happen just yet.
And EG are in such a comfortable position now as well. They're 2-0 up. They can literally just sit back. They can slay. They can wait for Vex to overcommit for a flag, and then they can get a counter because of it. And there it is, just as I was saying, 3-0. EG, a very comfortable first map, but as we've seen previously today, Fathom Capture the Flag isn't the best game type for Europeans, but certainly when we saw Infused on it earlier, they made a lot better game of it, whereas Vexed, they struggled here, brothers, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and we are going to be going into the stats here in the next few seconds. So far, I haven't seen a lot of objective been played from Vex. I feel like they were playing a lot more defense than they could offense.
Well, the problem was Vex kept pulling flags. They kept sending one person off spawn. Because they were being outslayed so heavily, they were constantly panicking, saying, right, we need to get someone behind them. And then, whilst they got behind, 3 of their teammates died, so they pulled a flag in another panic situation, and EG were just mopping it all up. They were saying, like, this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. As you can see the statistics there on your screen, I think Lunchbox went 18 and 8. That was a +10 there, Butters.
Yeah, and, you know, the railgun control, from what I can see from even the replays, Evil Geniuses pretty much having all of the railguns dominant on their side. They did have to fight for every camo, and I want to say Vex had the better of the 5 camos that were up, but just couldn't find an execution point.
And we were talking about accuracy before the game. It was tapping buttons who had 62% accuracy, and I know you were talking about pre-firing and how that can change everything, but this man was all over the place on that map. It seems every time we switched to his POV, he was just firing shots into every single member of Vex that he saw. A great player for this team, and as I said, I think this was a great pickup for EG because it seems like he's bringing a little bit of passion back into the side.
Yeah, and, you know, I couldn't really see Cristola in any of the 1v1 moments. I was kind of hoping for that. But this is Fathom, so to have a 1v1 moment on Fathom is so unlikely. This is all about team skill, just like Truth would be. It's all about your pistol, no power weapons. But here, Evil Geniuses showing you that they can lock down power weapons and not give Vex any air to breathe. Well,
you mentioned Truth. Truth is going to be the next game type as well. It's going to be Team Slayer on Truth. Looking at statistics from recent scrims, Vex, they're 4-3. They beat Era Eternity on it. They lost to Envy, only 50-49. So they can definitely roll with the big dogs. On the side for EG, they're 3-1 in Pro League, so it's a confident game type for them. In recent scrims, they lost to Luminosity. They beat Infused. So this should be a fiery one. I'm excited for it.
Now, do you see anybody making their plasma pistol an opportunity or like a priority in this next game coming up?
I mean, if you want to, I think people have their preference of what they like to use and what kind of weapons they want to run around with. I couldn't name someone specifically that is going to be doing that. I think the key focus in this game is going to be that camouflage, is going to be making the most of it. So we're going to see a lot of pink control from both teams. Judging from what we saw from Fathom Capture the Flag, the shots of EG are so much better than Vexed right now. Vexed need to warm up a little bit more, get used to this main stage, try and get back into this series.
And it's kind of partially answering my next question. I was going to say, where do you see these players? Would you send 3 to camo, because camo is very crucial here. 3 to camo, 1 guy top middle, or 2 camo, 1 top middle, and guy car?
A common European strategy that I've seen is sending just 1 person towards the camouflage. Maybe you send another person P2 just in case they fail. But I've seen a lot of European teams just go and try and burn the camouflage rather than trying to pick it up.
As we're getting on board, do you want to start this one off with anybody in specific?
I'd like to see what Lunny's got to offer. We saw a lot of EG. We didn't really see too much of Vexed, and Lunny had a fantastic day yesterday in open bracket. Not only did he single-handedly win a game, he also got ninja twice, so I mean, if he's not playing well, we might see him get destroyed at the same time.
And right now, there is your gold pack Halloween. I'm super excited for it. Make sure you enter that on halo.gg, but right now, Lunny is going to win a 1v1 against Roy. Almost a double kill, perfect shot, but it looks like he is going to be staying alive. This is Slayer, so it's all about the Slays, but Falcated does have the camouflage. Right now, 1v1 is happening as he does get taken down, but Falcated on your screen with camo.
And this can be a effect of that starting strategy of just sending maybe one person towards the camouflage. If it doesn't go well, if you don't burn it, you give it to your opposition. Not only can they use it to effect in real time, but it means they have the timing of the camouflage as well. So in 2 minutes, they're going to know the precise moment, and they're going to be ready for it, as Falcated is putting some good shots into toilet.
And right now, Cristola in the corner. He is going to be taken down here real soon. Actually, a teammate was there with him in the bubble. They both do take off and kill Lunchbox before the flank can happen. Cristola finally going to get taken down, but that's 2 players from Evil Geniuses. But Camo still in Falcated's favor. Right now, he just ran out of it. Couldn't really go top middle with it where I wanted to see him with the camo, and it's going to be a bubble fight.
You notice how you see 2 Vex players. They were trying to assert dominance by sitting top middle. 2 of them, in fact, were top middle, but they immediately got shut down. Evil Geniuses, they prioritized it, and they said, no, we cannot allow them to have top mid. They've got a 13-6 advantage already, and this is only going to get worse if Vex can't get some sort of control in this game.
And right now, it's a rinse and repeat. Falcated making his daily rounds as he just ran around the entire map. Is looking into the bubbles, not finding anybody just yet, but 3 members are top red, so they got to be careful here. They don't have any top control. This is Vex's moment to gain top control, and they are doing it right now, tapping buttons, not being able to really go anywhere as Vex does have top.
And notice that camouflage is going to be up in about 30 seconds as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if EG start to have a little switcheroo and move over towards that pink side to make sure they can secure the second camouflage of the game. But Vex have spawned over there. You can see that actually there are some red crosses from EG, so finally Vex getting some kills on the board, and if they can get the important kills at an important time, maybe they'll be rewarded with the camouflage.
And the new camouflage is going to be dropping in the next 5 seconds. Lunny already ready to fight for this one, but he has 2 players below him. Roy is going to get the kill on a Lunchbox. That's going to be killed. Camo is still alive, so the next fight for the camouflage is here. Falcated watching the flank. I'm not too sure who grabbed it. It's going to be tapping buttons, getting away with another camouflage.
And he got the camouflage because Roy just smacked a triple kill into Vex's face. And Evil Geniuses are really, I mean, I'd say they're heating up. They were on fire from the start of this series. They don't seem to be missing everything. They are on tear. And Vex are just getting stomped in their own base. Every time they spawn, EG are just pincering them from both sides, and Vex can't escape.
But see, they're doing the same thing again. They're bringing the camo into the bubble. They could be blocking the spawns in the comms for all I know. I say let them spawn in the bubble for all I care. It's the best place for your enemy team to spawn. Lenny is trying to clear the bubbles out, but that's going to be 2 more members dead from Vex. Make it 3 as Cristola already outnumbered in the situation. Going car for God knows what reason. Tapping buttons, running out of camo.
Yeah, running out of camo, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think he needs camouflage at the moment. The only thing that Vex need is a hope, because they're really struggling to push out this base. Individually, they're trying to take these battles. It doesn't help they're losing those individual battles as well. But they can't get themselves into any sort of 2 versus 1 situation. Look, that's Lunny caught on his own once again. Every time EG smell a player on their own, they're instantly hunting him down.
Yeah, and right now the score is 31-13. Vex is going to have to play just as insane as Evil Geniuses if they want to come back. And a 1v1 with Cristola. Falcated is going to get the better half of that. Now Riots is going to be going into the bubble as the next camouflage will be dropping in the next 32 seconds.
Yeah, and that is the way that Vex are going to get back into this game, if at all. They need to play this pretty perfectly, get the next camouflage, be a little bit sneaky, but they need to be aggressive. A lot of teams will try and slow things down when they're down by this much, but actually you've got to get hyper-aggressive, you've got to think proactive, you've got to start doing exactly what the opposition team is doing to you. You've got to be the one spawn killing and spawn trapping.
After coming back to Evil Geniuses, have you noticed that they're finally getting the top control, but they keep on making rounds with each other? They're just going around the clock, absolutely punching everybody's time cards as they do take them down. Lunny and Cristola is going to be taken down as well, but 3 members make it 4 members of Vex killed. And make it another member as Riots gets killed off of spawn. Now going to be going to the camo. There's going to be another uncontested camo going to Evil Geniuses.
That camouflage spawned 15 seconds ago, by the way. Vex were just getting slain and had no idea what's going on. You said the EG are rotating well. That's exactly what they're doing. They're moving as a unit, and they're just calling out so well. I mean, I can see them. You can see the communication that's coming out from these guys. You can see it in their gameplay as well, because every kill is being mopped up by one of their teammates.
And that's going to be a 2-for-2 trade in favor of Evil Geniuses. Any trade is good. They have such a far lead. Looks like Vex might owe them a stake here real soon, as they're only 7 kills away from victory.
This does not look like the same Vex that we've seen in recent scrims. The team that we saw lose only 50-49.
This isn't the Evil Geniuses you see from scrims.
Exactly. This is EG showing up on the big stage that they know they can do. They've been in this situation before, and they are playing like the professionals that they are. We're not seeing a difference between North America and Europe here. We're seeing a difference between the pro teams and the AM teams.
And right now, great grenades to take down Lunchbox. Riots is going to be going into the window, but he just called himself out right there as releasing his information, or he's that. He is in another 1v1 fight. Riots will lose that one. Tapping buttons on fire. Going for an attempt 1v1. While low shields nearly won it. Quadios is going to get taken down 49-22 as Lunchbox got the final kill on a Lunny. 50-22. If you're a Vex fan, that's got to hurt.
And a little bit of excitement there from Roy. I mean, they kind of sat back and it was like a sigh of relief. Every time they win a game, they're like, okay, we didn't throw this one away, we didn't choke this one, which is very important if you're an EG player or even an EG fan, because they are clearly the dominant force in this series, and now they're 2-0 up. They're going to want to finish this one off quickly, get some confidence behind them so they can move into winner's bracket round 2, where they would be playing maybe an opponent that's a little bit closer to their skill, it would definitely seem.
Now, you being from EU have definitely had your share of watching EU scrimmed. Now, the next map that is going to be coming up, Eden Strongholds, would you say that this is definitely one of Vex's best game types?
Europe, in general, are bad at strongholds. That's one thing that I will mention, and I will probably bring this up several times. There is some sort of playstyle that happens in Europe where we really struggle at securing total control. We don't seem to prioritize very successfully. However, the saving grace for Vex is Evil Geniuses haven't particularly had a particularly good time on Strongholds Eden recently in scrims either. Neither did they do particularly well in Pro League. I think they went 3-3 through the entirety of the season.
And there's Falcated on your screen. He was the second player with the most kills on the squad, but I want to say he was the MVP that game. He only had 3 deaths. I want to say he had 14 assists while having 15 kills. Now the guy tapping buttons was in the lead, but nowhere near in the assist tree.
So my real worry for this next game is this is the chance for Vex to get back into it, right? If they lose, they're out. Well, they're not out, they're into the elimination bracket. So this is the time they need to turn the series around. But with Strongholds Eden being the game type, we saw them play it yesterday against Gosu Crew in the open bracket, and it was the one game type they lost yesterday. They went 8-1 throughout the open bracket. Only game type they lost, Strongholds Eden. So it's hard for me to get any confidence about this lineup on this game type. But you never know. Maybe we'll see some EU passion being pumped back into this series.
You know, something that you did mention the last game, you said that Evil Geniuses is playing super aggressive, and although they were, Vex playing very defensively, you know, trying to get a turtle going, but just wasn't working. Now, in a game like Strongholds, you just can't do that. You gotta, if you're gonna play Strongholds, you gotta play just as aggressive as your enemy team is playing.
Rotations are so important in Strongholds, but Strongholds Eden specifically, and the way we just saw Truth Team Slayer played by EG, this should be a very comfortable victory for them. I'm predicting maybe something like 100-10, if I'm honest.
In whose favor?
In EG's favor. Did you not get that from what I was saying? But maybe we can see Vex turn up. We need to see the individuals start to win these battles because they've been losing those individual fights and it really hasn't helped them because, yes, one player can push out. They're confident, these Vex players. They should be confident because they have good shots, but they're losing those individual battles, and then suddenly the team is in a 3 versus 4 situation, and EG smell blood every time that happens, and they swarm them and punish them for it.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is Ogre 2 coming back yet again for another tournament to coach his old teammates into victory. And so far, Ogre 2 doing a fantastic job. I have seen Evil Geniuses on top of every camo, just everything that has been coming up.
Now, I think I want to start things off with Lunchbox in this game. There was so much destruction that we saw off stream that I saw in the little 8 POVs that are in front of me. So I want to see if he can carry on this absolutely incredible form that we're seeing in this series. But this is do or die time now for Vexed. If they lose this one, they are down into the elimination bracket. And I'm sure there will be a lot of happy EG fans after a very fine display that we've seen.
Yeah, and they sent 3 guys to camouflage. I don't know how good that actually is. Roy getting a 1v1, does win the 1v1 at Overshield, excuse me, and he does get rewarded for it. Rockets and Overshield, but so far only time is the only thing that is decaying this Overshield. He needs to get in the action.
Now a quick update from the floor. I'm being told that Infused and Envy are tied at 1-1 at the moment off stream, so clearly an amazing series going down there as well. But meanwhile, Roy is controlling this catwalk, and he will be able to get this and start putting points on the board for Evil Geniuses. But the Rockets fall, Butters.
Yeah, and Quadios right here on your screen, going to be taking Blue Ben with the camouflage. It's not the best play to make, but in Eden, it's so wide. I think having camo and taking a stronghold is the best play to make, but other maps, not so much like Plaza. But right now, Quadios is going to be getting found out. Rocket is going to take him down by Roy as he does spawn and pick up the rockets. Only one left, but he's putting them to use as he kills himself with Lunny.
You know that 100 to 10 prediction I made? Can we all forget that and pretend that never happened? The thing I love about Halo 5 is that it can really matter who you're facing. It doesn't matter if it's a bad game type for you, because your playstyle really might counteract the opponent's playstyle, and that's what we're seeing by EG at the moment. EG is struggling to deal with how Vexed are sporadically placing themselves across the map here. EG are more used to a lot more of a solid kind of setup playstyle from other North American teams, whereas Vexed are being a little bit more unpredictable.
You see a lot of nades flying in Lunchbox area, and no one pretty much has seen him other than from across the map. Well, look at the communication from Vex, just trying to hope and get that God nade from across the map to just take down Lunchbox. No hit markers on him. He is in a 1v1 against Red Nest, but the player is going to be backing off.
We'll see active camouflage and overshield popping up any second now. I think overshield should be here right about now. There it is, but taken from his grasp there, and that'll be camouflage going into the hands of Vex as well. So I think they might be able to pick up both here. So a really successful game so far. I'm really impressed from what I'm seeing from Vex. I said it was do or die, and it looks like they're showing up right now.
And right now, let's go into an Astro listening right now with Vex and Lunny having the rockets, overshield, and camo.
I'm out my way, stand rock.
I'm gonna go back right. I'm gonna go back right when I can.
They're all going outside. I'm just gonna flank them. I'm not going red.
Can we look blue here? Make it like this. Make it like this.
Watch
Watch up the sneaky, watch up the sneaky. Go right now. Wait, hold on. Nice case, he's 12. I'm blocking tower, they're gonna spawn. Get ready. We should have red. Maxie's a bit of help. Bomb blue cut. Shots, let's go. Push on the tower, he's on no camo.
I'm out for camo.
I'm playing eSports.
I'll take blue outside.
One shot blue cage. You're looking for 2 on cat.
Should we see blue outside at all? Two outside. One pit, absolute.
Okay, it's dead.
Actually, pit still. He's gone. They're on blue, I think. No, he's still pit, and he cuts out.
Happy tower.
Rocket box.
It's gonna be gone.
Pit weak, Tower, let's go. Need a rotate blue. They're in red already. Right, 2 red and 2 tower. 2 red and 2 tower. Stay alive. Oh, they got red boys, Right, keep this. Make sure we get this power ups next minute as well. Power ups.
Can we play terror here, lads?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Oh, wait, we got this couple. Let's do blue. Let's do blue.
We need to look at this.
Outside blue, one shot.
We can blue black now.
Nice, we got blue. West is going to be 48. West is going to be 48.
Blue out. Somewhere. Definitely.
Watch this.
Blue black now.
Blue out, we got
Basement, one shot, blue.
10 seconds West. Already outside. I'm in. Should be up around 48.
Okay, Max. Red window weak. Okay.
What
time? Should be a second. What time? 48. Up. Alright, they're going to be down there now. Nice, what is there behind you, Chris? Camo's going to be at the top. And we need to work something now, boys. Right, both you cat. Here, cat.
I'm on me, cat.
Red window.
Prince on the west and red.
And look at that, they have another rocket and overshield. Crisella putting it to use. Roy challenging the overshield guy as he quickly known he made a mistake. That's a double kill, almost going for the triple kill, but it looks like that guy is gonna live to see another day. Now Falcated is gonna be getting chased by Crisella. See me tapping buttons, getting chased by Crisella, making sure they're exterminating evil geniuses.
Really impressed with the power-up control from Vex. They picked up 4 of them out of a possible 6, so they're doing really well at controlling this, and they're being rewarded by the score on the board right now. And you can see how well they're working as a unit. They're baiting, they're switching, and they're doing a lot better than I thought they were going to do, to be honest, Butters. I was counting them out. I was saying that this is probably series over, but it seems like they're on a little bit of a hot streak right now, but they need to close it out. I've seen so many times European teams get in this position and throw a game like this away.
And right now, Roy does have the camouflage as he is taking Red Nest. He is trying to respond to a call out here, but he gets his camouflage. He is going to be he's going to be known, and he still takes out Quadios with that grenade assist.
Yeah, really important kill there from Roy. He did get spotted, but sometimes it's quite difficult to finish off a player that does just surprise you like that. But now Roy has this lurking ability, and he is just searching for these Vexed members. Easy, perfect kill for them as well. But look at this. Total control for EG. They're clawing their way back into this, and this is where you start sweating if you're a Vexed member, because you know if you lose, you are out of the winner's bracket. So you need to get a little bit of cojones about you and start pulling this back.
Some cojones indeed, as Riot is going to get taken down by Lunchbox. Now going to be contesting onto the Red Nest. A bump grenade is going to damage him a little bit more, but there's two members of Vex in there, but they're both one-shot. They're trying to kiss and hold hands, but it's not going to save their life, as Roy does have the rockets.
Roy does have the lunchbox indeed. I'm sure he has. I'm sure at school many a time he had the lunchbox, and we've heard that joke 1,000 times, but he's got an overshield now, Roy here, and rockets in his back pocket as well, so he can push in. And EG, they are just doing exactly what we saw in Truth. They're looking for blood. Every time they notice the Vex player on his own, they're instantly swarming him, and Vex struggling to get back into this, as it looks like EG are really turning this around, Butters.
Definitely have caught up to the lead. They're only 10 points behind, but right now, Quadios even taking Red Nest, they're still not scoring. They just lost Blue Ben in the process, but Camouflage is up. Quadios trying to bait in his mind. Should I bait it? And he did wait. Perfect timing as he gets a double kill with one rocket on a tapping buttons, and Roy trying to look for more blood. There is a player onto the top blue window. Quadios trying to put some assist shots, making him back down as they are scoring on a catwalk, but Evil Genius is caught up.
And I like what Quad was trying to do there. So many European teams, when we get catwalk, instead we go back towards Nest rather than pushing blue. If you get catwalk, push blue, spawn them outside, and then that's how you're going to win this game. But instead, they didn't get over towards blue. EG have control once again, and they've got blooming total control again. What are Vex doing right now?
I don't know right now. They do have the lead. Excuse me. Even though Vex does have the lead, Evil Geniuses is catching up. Rockets are coming up in the next 26 seconds. The game will last around that time. Quadios does get taken down, but two members from Evil Geniuses are dead. The last two members remaining are capturing Blue Ben, but right now a triple cap, even with two of them dead.
Look at that rotation from EG. They noticed there was a little bit of danger, noticed they might lose catwalk, so instantly they move round to blue, and catwalk's lost, so Vex are getting something on the board, but they need to take Nest, or they need to take Blue Bend and start scoring some points, because slowly but surely this game and this series and potentially their tournament in the winner's bracket is slowly fading away from them.
Quadios doing a smart move, not challenging that play. He is going to regain his shields, but they're not scoring. Evil Geniuses are scoring, so let them all be one-shot and hide for as long as they want. Two members from Vex are dead. Make it three, as Quadios is going to be the third member alive, and no member is going to be able to go for this fight. This is the final fight right now, as Evil Geniuses is going to be taking out Vex. 3-0.
Very comfortable indeed. You love to see that if you're an EG fan. You hate to see it if you are a Vexed or a European fan, but clearly we have seen the difference between one of the top open teams from the tournament compared to one of our pro league teams here at DreamHack Denver. Vexed, there's a lot they can take away from that series, and they do still have that elimination bracket to run through, but pure confidence for Evil Geniuses as they move on to winners bracket round 2.
And right now we are going to be going on board to the stats. You can see Falcated being the top of the list with the MVP with the most captures, but pretty much even stats across the board with the assists, the kills, and even deaths. Now going on to the damage, you can see all people shooting from across the map, trying to put as much damage on as possible with 60% accuracies yet again.
A real struggle there for Vex, not just in that game, but the entire series.
Look at the score.
I mean, I was impressed because they were getting all the power-ups, they were getting the power weapons, they were getting everything, and then it seemed like they got a little bit too comfortable in that game, and EG just really stepped it up. They rotated well, and Vex just couldn't keep up with the speed of the game that was being played.
Evil Genius is just coming right back on top. Golden Boy, you're with us now. What did you think of that series?
I have appeared here, ladies and gentlemen. Just rise from the ashes.
I saw you from the
You know, so let me give you a little story of what I was doing during the game. So, you know, I decided to head to the back, you know, get a cup of coffee, you know what I mean, do my thing.
Coffee.
Okay,
Coffee.
Listen here. I'm from New York, and that's just how we say it. We say coffee, all right? That's just how it is. Anyway, so I go back, get some coffee. Game 1's over. What happened? I was so excited for the series. You know, I feel like we lied to the viewers at home because we hyped it up quite a bit. And then, you know, game 2 comes and then goes. And then that was it. I sat down, had a nice conversation with Onset, talked about his hair for a little bit. And, you know, there's not that much hair to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So that conversation was done, and then the game was over. And then that was it. And then we started to see some life from this team going into game 3. Vex started to wake up again. They had a trip cap. They had 70 points on the board. And then it was over. They lost. I don't get it, Gaskin.
That was European strongholds in a nutshell, basically. Like, even when we have the lead, even when we're comfortable, it looks like we're going to win the game, it just slips through our fingers like sand.
As far as game 2 goes, Evil Genius played that perfect.
Yeah,
I was like, why are they sending anybody top middle? They were roaming like a clock, just checking everybody's numbers in. 3, just a wolf pack, absolutely dominating, while Vex, just like SpongeBob, playing bubble buddies in the bubbles.
Yeah. That's the weirdest analogy I've ever heard.
They were bubble buddies.
But I like it.
I think now it's time for a transition. I'm going to ask you about that one during this break here. But for now, we're going to send it over to Strong Side for another Xfinity post-match interview. Side, over to you.
With Lunchbox of Evil Geniuses, and congrats on that 3-0 win. What do you think your team was playing? Like, how were you guys playing? You just mentioned you felt like you were playing at the top of your game here, a little bit different than online.
Yeah, I feel like our inconsistencies online come a lot from just the effort level, and obviously we're not going to do that at tournaments, but that's super frustrating for me personally, but it's nice and refreshing to come to LAN and be able to play and feel like we're playing really well as a team.
So talking about EU teams as well, did you get a chance to catch the match before this?
Yeah, we watched pretty much every game besides the first one, so definitely an impressive showing from Infused, and yeah, they're looking tough.
Well, you're going to be moving on here, and you're going to be playing against Team Liquid for top 6. What are your thoughts going into this match?
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a tough match for us. They're a really good team, a team that can easily push for the top 4, top 3. We scrimmed them online and did fairly well against them, so I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we can play our best.
All right, the Lunchbox Roy combo is still going at it, and you know what? We're going to do a proper handshake here. We're going to switch this. Gaskin, this is a proper handshake here, right hand. Back to you, Golden Boy.
I couldn't agree more.
It's not my fault. I can do it with both hands, all right?
No, stop shaking people's hands with the left, okay? It looks like a wet noodle. No one wants to deal with that.
You leave him alone, okay?
You know, like, you know, you got to go in with the firm hand.
But I had a microphone in my right hand. What would look more awkward?
You put it right here.
If I had like gone.
Here, let me go ahead and tell you, right? So I'm sitting here. This is my microphone, and I go and I'm talking. I was like, oh, you know, blah blah blah, saying the things, and I talk to you, right, so on and so forth, right? And then now let's imagine that this is like your left hand. This is your right hand. Excuse me. Then what you do is you simply just move the mic to the side.
That was slow-mo, though.
But then you don't go on with
this. Feels weird.
See, this feels weird. Look at this. You see how nasty.
Look how much I have to turn.
Yeah, you see how much he has to put effort. I mean, come on.
I think us Europeans are just more like.
Get your head out of your butt.
We're more open for these new things. All right, let's just be bubble buddies.
Let's just be bubble buddies. All right. Well, it's good to hear from Lunchbox, the one and only. I mean, this guy. They've had a rough, last couple months here. I like this team that they've put together, with Falcated and tapping buttons coming in. You feel that energy is there. Roy, I mean, the guy's shot has always been, fantastic. And then you have Lunchbox. Everything that the man does is calculated, okay? So he can bring the calculations to the team and bring them to victory. But the question is, though, can they go further in this competition? Because it's stacked, honestly, Butters.
It's really hard to say so because Evil Geniuses, just like Luminosity, always been in that 5th and 6th spot. It's just a battle. It's never battling for top 4. But if they could bring what they showed us on Truth and in this whole series to Pro League top 8, they could totally take down Liquid and take down Luminosity and get top 4. So I can definitely see it as long as they maintain the synergy they had right here.
But I get what he was saying in his interview as well about effort online. When you're practicing online, it's so different. Like, you've got so many distractions. Like, your mum can come in with some baked beans on toast, or you could be like watching some Netflix at the same time. When you get to LAN, you have got to be assertive and you've got to focus on the game. And EG turned up. Vexed, a little bit of a disappointment. I hyped them up a little bit. Yeah, okay, maybe we'll see how they do in the elimination round.
Now I understand why you retired, because you just have baked beans. You're watching some shows on TV.
Pretty much.
You're clearly not paying attention to the game here, Gas.
Yeah, I got dropped so many times because of baked beans on
Because
toast.
of your baked beans.
Yeah,
on
like I
toast.
was just like, guys, honestly, I'm good at LAN. I
swear.
I'm distracted. Okay.
Oh man, you know, at least you didn't get top 128 like Sims.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Exactly.
Ouch,
He's not here to
Sims, if
defend
you're
himself,
watching.
so I will take the shots when I can.